What is up, Fable Babies? Welcome to Storytime, the holy grail of great stories from across the interwebs, brought to you by iHeartRadio and Collab. I'm your host, Will D-List McFadden. And you guys, I am freaking out right now. I'm literally shaking. I'm shook. I am shooking because we have 3 of the biggest freaking celebrities in the entire freaking world calling into the show today. I am not shitting you. I would never shit you. Let me explain. So, last Saturday, I was out in the backyard trying to get this rambunctious squirrel that lives back there to like me. I've been at it for weeks, and I've tried everything, peanuts, birdseed, tangerine, Skittles, yogurt, pot stickers, an entire beef Wellington. The list goes on, and I tell you, nothing is working. So if anyone out there has any ideas, please let me know. Slide into my DMs on Insta at storytime.pod or tweet me at storytimepod_ with some of them hashtag hot squirrel tips. Okay, so anyway, I'm trying my darndest to get little Reginald to come down from the tree and eat from my palm and be my bestie. And then all of a sudden I hear ding, ding, ding from my phone. And just like that, bam, I've got 3 back-to-back-to-back requests from 3 of the most iconic, illustrious, influential women in the known universe asking me if they can come onto this podcast. I mean, you guys, I got so excited. I dropped the fajita burrito I was trying to feed Reginald, and I scheduled all 3 of them to call in live on today's episode. I know, right? So, in honor of all of these massive celebrities being on the show, I thought, why not hear other people's celeb experiences? So each story today will be about one of us regular humans rubbing elbows with the rich and famous. I'm sure you are all on the edge of your toilet seats right now, just itching to know who these celebrity guests are, but keep your pants on. Wait, actually, if you're on your toilet seat, you should not have pants on. I'm sorry, focus, come on, focus, Will. All I ask is for a little bit of patience, my sweet little Fable Babies. Your itch will soon be scratched. Also, if that itch persists, you should probably see a dermatologist. Okay, sorry. I think I might be having a minor heart attack or a happy stroke. Not sure what's going on here. I'm going to send you guys off to listen to a quick story from Eric Artell while I have a glass of warm oat milk to calm my nerves, and then I will bring in our first celebrity guest.
What if I told you that I had a dream where I was in a band with Uncle Jesse from Full House, Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump, Life is Like a Box of Chocolates, and Kid Rock on stage in one of the most dangerous countries in the world? Well, it wasn't a dream, and I lived to tell about it. So I had an NBA roommate for a year. Let's call him Carl. Okay, we weren't really roommates. We were more like housemates. We each had our own room in an apartment. And Carl, besides being a very frugal guy, ergo him having a housemate in an apartment while he's earning millions of dollars in the NBA, National Basketball Association, he was also like the nicest guy you could ever meet. Whenever we would be talking to people, if they were like, oh, hey, you're Carl on that blah, blah, blah team, he'd immediately turn the conversation back on them. He'd be like, oh, yeah, I am. So what do you do? Or he would introduce someone that he was with. Like, they'd be like, hey, you're Carl. Da, da. And he'd say, oh, yeah, I am. And have you met my good friend Eric? He's an actor in Los Angeles, here in Los Angeles. Isn't that amazing? So always deflecting the attention. Really nice guy. Also a really great housemate. I would train with him at a local track, nearly puke my guts out because I'm not a professional athlete. Not even close. And then we'd come home and drink his homemade smoothies, which, by the way, were not healthy at all. You'd think like professional athlete, top of their game, drinking smoothies with like kale and spinach and all things healthy and almond milk. No. These things were like ice, orange juice, and orange sherbet, whatever that is, but absolutely delicious. So one day during the NBA offseason, Carl burst into my room. He's a very energetic guy. He's like, Eric, I need your opinion on something. I'm like, okay, what? Shoot, Carl. It's like, the NBA just asked me to go to Iraq. Should I go? I'm like, what? So it turns out it's part of a USO tour, like a goodwill tour. I actually didn't know that the USO tours were still happening. I knew about the old USO tours with Bob Hope as the host. And actually, this audience might not know who Bob Hope is. It might be a little too old. Look him up. Comedy legend. And Carl was on the fence about going. Actually, to be honest, he was probably leaning towards not going because this was shortly after 9/11. The United States had just invaded Iraq and captured Baghdad, and he wanted my honest opinion. But I was thinking captured Baghdad? this is probably the safest time to go. So I'm like, yes, Carl, you've got to go. When are you ever going to get this opportunity again? By the way, I am available for anyone who needs a friend to encourage them to do things, even if they're absolutely ridiculously crazy. So Carl smiled. He leaves the room. About 15 minutes later, he bursts back into my room. I'm like, what's up, dude? It's Eric. I'm going. I told him yes. Yes. Awesome, man. I'm happy for you. And then he turns somber again. I got another question. Like, okay. So they said I could bring a guest. I was going to bring my sister, but she's 19. I don't know if I should bring her into that kind of environment, with all the, I just don't know. I don't know if it's a safe environment to bring her. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Might not be good to bring your 19-year-old sister. And I was not even thinking this, but then he's like, so do you want to come with me instead? What? Me come with you to Iraq? All of a sudden, my immediate yes to him about how he should go became a little more difficult when you're talking about yourself instead of encouraging somebody else to go. But yes, I only had to think about it for 20 seconds. I'm like, yes, let's go. We're going to Iraq. So not long after that, we found ourselves on a custom-made huge airplane. I don't know if it was a 747 or a 777. I don't even know what those numbers mean, to be perfectly honest. Made by Northwest Airlines. They take these big airplanes and use them for these special types of trips. And it was awesome. Full of celebrities. Kid Rock and Alyssa Milano are sitting in front of us. He's like, hi, I'm Robert. You don't go by Kid. A few rows behind us are the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. A few rows in front of us are John Stamos and Rebecca Romaine Stamos. R.I.P. to their marriage. Across the way was Gary Sinise. Sleeping in upstairs was in this custom upper level master bed suite that this airplane had was the musical legend Wayne Newton, who was the host of this USO tour, so basically like the new Bob Hope. And then there were all these other famous sorts like NBA players and other actors and musicians. It was a bit of a surreal plane ride, to be honest. But it was about to get even more surreal because after a brief stop in Kuwait and a visit to one of the military bases, we then took a C-15, 47, 8, 19, I don't know, some sort of seaplane, cargo plane. I know the C stands for cargo plane, I think. And we're on this plane. It feels like my teeth are going to fall out on this plane for a couple of hours. And we land in Baghdad, Iraq. Well, the outskirts of Baghdad. At the Baghdad International Airport, formerly known as the Saddam Hussein Airport. Formerly, as in like just a week or so prior to that, it had been toppled and renamed. It's got holes in it, the signs falling off, there are craters in some of the runways. And we walk out of this cargo plane, walk towards this huge hangar, the main hangar, and start to hear this deafening sound of thousands of military members, military personnel, cheering, chanting, rowdy, ready for some sort of entertainment. And at one end of the hangar, inside, was this makeshift little stage, and we all go up on the stage, looking out over the sea of faces, and to my right is a drum set, and in front of me are some guitars and some microphones, and before I knew it, I'm standing on stage with a makeshift band of John Stamos on the drums, Gary Sinise on the guitar, Lieutenant Dan, live is like a box of chocolates, and Kid Rock screaming into the microphone. Well, not really screaming, but singing a bunch of good old American rock classics. It was amazing. And there are a few things I'm never going to forget from that experience. First, the head-pounding music. I'm standing right next to the speakers, dancing, cheering with the servicemen and women. They're yelling, they're singing along, they're throwing these open plastic water bottles into the air, just showers of water in the hot hangar air, having an amazing time. Number two, I'm standing next to John Stamos, Uncle Jesse, watching him play the drums. And by the way, I myself am a percussionist, and he is actually a really talented drummer. And then the third thing I'll never forget about this was watching my MBA friend and housemate Carl jumping off the stage backwards for a stage dive into this crowd, only to have the crowd, the military crowd, part like Moses is parting the Red Sea because nobody wanted to catch a 230-pound, 6'10" athlete. And bam! Carl smacks down onto the ground, but then they immediately pick him up. And I watched my good friend with a goofy smile on his face, crowd surf throughout that hot Baghdad hangar. I gotta admit, the respect that I gained on that trip for military personnel and those who serve their country, I can never explain it. But also, from this experience, I developed a great respect for roadies. You know, the people who follow a band everywhere and they get passes to watch a show and maybe try to get backstage and watch it on the stage. Because after experiencing that sheer energy of that performance, I'm never going to badmouth a roadie again. So maybe the moral of this story is that when your roommate asks if you want to go to Iraq, you say yes, because you may just wind up sharing that stage with John Stamos, Kid Rock, and Lieutenant Dan. Life is truly like a box of chocolates.
Truly an adventure of a lifetime. Which NBA player do you think it was? I mean, I was picturing Charles Barkley in my head. If Barkley tried to stage dive on me, I absolutely would get out of the way. Although he did say 6'10", and Barkley's 6'6". So why don't you go to Eric Artell's Instagram and leave a comment guessing which NBA player you think it was. Also, check him out on TikTok and Twitch while you're at it. All right, Fable ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your butts. Our first guest is one of the most influential rappers of all time. Her favorite color is yellow. Bodak yellow, to be precise. Welcome to Storytime, Belcalis Marlenes Almanzar, a.k.a. Cardi B!
Oh my God, Will!
Hi, Cardi. What is up? Hey. See, well, that was a joke because of your song Up.
I want to say I'm really honored to be on the show. Like, this podcast is like my favorite podcast. And I don't really be like on podcasts like that.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow, really? I am so honored. Thank you for saying that. I just have to say that WAP is my third favorite song of all time.
Third? What's 1 and 2?
Well, the number 2 spot goes to I'm Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Dow by Italian pop sensation Eiffel 65.
Okay, that seems kind of high to me, but you do you.
And number 1 has to go to My Heart Will Go On by the Queen, Celine Dion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Celine is an OG queen.
Right? Okay, so this whole episode is about celebrity encounters, and obviously you are a super celeb now, but before you made it big, did you ever get starstruck by anyone?
Oh, yeah, so a really long time ago, I ran into Sir Ian McKellen at the grocery store. Have you heard of him?
Have I heard of him? You mean Gandalf? Magneto? Gus the Theater Cat? Yes, I'm familiar with his work.
Yeah, okay, cool. So anyways, I was at this Lord of the Rings convention, and we bumped into each other on the way to the bathroom, and I accidentally stepped on his shoelace and he tripped.
No way. Oh my God, please tell me you said, "You shall not pass." That would be awesome.
No, I just really felt bad because he's old and shit.
That is crazy. I had no idea you were a fellow ringer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, me and my husband, we love those weird-ass movies. We're big Tolkienites.
How is your husband?
Oh, yeah, on set. Yeah, he's doing good. Thank you for asking.
Don't you mean offset?
Oh, yeah, I meant that he's on set right now, like on a music video. So, Offset is on set, but, listen, this has been great, this is lit or whatever, but, I gotta go take my dog out for a walk.
Oh, you have a dog? What's his name?
It's,
Do you not know what your dog is named?
You know what, he's new, he doesn't have a name yet, but I'm gonna name him, Will, after you, because, I'm your number 1 fan. Ew.
I am honored. Well, hey, if you ever need a dog walker or a dog sitter or...
Sorry, I really gotta go, but it's great chatting with you and stuff. I love the podcast. Oh,
okay,
bye.
All right, I'll email you. Okay, bye, Cardi B. You guys, I think Cardi B just named her dog after me. Oh my God, is it my lucky day or what? Okay, breathe. All right, moving on. While I queue up our next amazing guest, enjoy this story from Jessica Lesaca about when a superstar sat in her section.
So like any other aspiring actress/singer, right after college, I got a job at a restaurant. Of course, my parents weren't exactly thrilled. They wanted me to go get a job that had something to do with my major, but I was like, no, I want to sing and act, so this is what I'm doing. I got a job at a restaurant, and not just any restaurant. It was a pretty bougie restaurant, and at the time that I was working there, it was probably the number one like hotspot restaurant in LA. So we had a ton of celebrities that would come in all the time. For example, there was this one DJ who would come in pretty often, and he would bring different women every time he came in. So the one time he came to dine with us with his wife, I remember managers telling us he's coming in with his wife today, so don't mention that you saw him last week. So yeah, it was like kind of one of those places. It was very LA, very hip. So we just had a ton of celebrities that would come in and dine with us. This was my very first job at a restaurant, so I had no prior restaurant training. The way this restaurant was set up was in 3 sections. There was the bar area, and then there was the dining area, but the dining area was split into 2 separate dining rooms, and then there was the dessert area. So when Halle Berry came to dine with us, she came in with her then fiance, Olivier Martinez, and maybe 2 or 3 other people. So it was a group of about maybe 5 or 6 of them. And I guess Olivier was friends with the chef who owned this restaurant, and it was the chef's request that Halle and her group get to eat in every section of the restaurant. So he wanted them to start at the bar and then transfer to dining room 1 and then dining room 2 and then the dessert area. When I heard that Halle would be dining with us that night, I, of course, volunteered my services. I was like, please let me service Halle's table. Okay, so I wasn't really that desperate, but out of all the celebrities who came to eat at the restaurant, she was one of the ones I actually wanted to meet. And when they got there, I escorted them to one of the bar tables, and I remember managers telling us to let them take their time. Normally, we wouldn't encourage people to linger, but they were friends of the chef, so they basically were just telling us to let them tell us when they're ready to move. So once they let us know they were ready to move on to their next table, I noticed that every person in their group still had a pretty full drink. And I was a little nervous because, like I said earlier, I didn't really have tray training. So I got my tray and I put all their drinks on the tray. And I remember I had to actually use 2 hands because it was so heavy. So as I'm transferring them from their bar table to the dining room, I'm starting to get a little nervous because I'm realizing, holy crap, I'm going to eventually have to balance this entire tray of drinks on one hand. And that hand being my left hand, which is my non-dominant, less strong, much weaker hand, because I'm going to have to use my right hand to take the drinks off the tray and put them on the table. So as we're walking that short walk from the bar to the dining room, it's like the Zach Galifianakis meme where all the math problems are whooshing past his head. So I'm trying to do the math and figure out how am I going to pull this off without dropping all the drinks onto the table. So we get to the table, and then this is where my lack of tray training really shines through. You're supposed to unload the light items first so as not to offset the balance of the tray. And in retrospect, it's duh, that makes so much sense. But of course, I didn't know that. I was just so entranced by Halle Berry's beauty. Common sense just kind of went out the door. But I'm freaking out because the tray is so heavy and I'm just trying to get all the heaviest items off the tray first. So as I am unloading the tray, I unload literally the heaviest drink on the tray. And once I took that drink off the tray and onto the table, there was a champagne flute, a full champagne flute on the tray that started to wobble. And in my head, I was like, no, please don't fall. Please don't fall. No. And then of course, with my luck, I swear this happened in slow motion. The champagne flute fell into the lap of Halle Berry, completely drenching her in champagne. Champagne is full of sugar, so it's sticky. And mind you, this is in the beginning of their meal. The chef, I think, had intended them to be there for 2 hours because he wanted them to really experience the restaurant. And this is probably in the first 20 minutes of them being there that I spilled sticky champagne all over her clothes. And that's not even the worst part. I look over at her fiance and he's cracking up. He thinks it's so funny that I just majorly effed up. And my brain shut down and I was so embarrassed and mortified that my initial reaction was to start laughing. So that is the incorrect response, by the way. I just started laughing with him, and I looked over at her, and she didn't look too happy, but I will say, you always hear stories about celebrities just kind of lashing out and being super rude. Hallie was so gracious. She was so nice. She didn't yell at me or, demand I be fired. She just looked at me and she was like, well, at least I'm wearing black. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I just kept apologizing. And of course, after this happened, the managers pulled me aside and were like, I think this goes without saying, but you need to stay away from her table for the rest of the night. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. They're like, yeah, you can't go anywhere near her table for the rest of the night. And rightfully so. And I actually ended up getting fired from this job within about 6 months. So yeah, that's the story of how I spilled champagne all over Halle Berry and lived to tell the tale.
I'm sure a lot of us out there can relate to Jessica's story. I know I can. I once spilled a bowl of scalding hot baked beans down the back of Gary Busey's shirt. The weird thing was, he didn't even notice. Go give Jessica Lesaca a follow. As always, you can find links to her channels in the description. Okay, it is with great excitement that I bring to you our very next special guest. Let's all hope we can keep up with her. That's right. Welcome to the show, Kim Kardashian.
Oh, hey, Will. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for having me. What? You didn't have me. That's a stupid thing to say. Hey, I just want to start off by saying that I am not even going to ask about Kanye. I'm not even going to touch on that situation. I'm not going to ask whether you're dating anyone or seeing anyone or whether you want to go on a date with anyone or see anyone or me, if I would even be in the vicinity of that being a possibility. So I'm just not even going to go there because that would be unprofessional, and I am a professional. I'm just very happy that you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. I just love your podcast so much. It's like way better than the Joe Rogan experience.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. I agree. And hey, I just got to say, I am a huge fan. I have watched every episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians at least twice. It really helped me get through my divorce with that horrible wench, Sheila.
Well, Will, on behalf of myself and my family, you're welcome.
Oh my God, thank you. That's so sweet. Hey, so weird story. I don't know if you know this, but your mom and I were actually in a local production of Cabaret 11 years ago. She played Fräulein Coast, and I, of course, was the MC. And I remember Kendall and Kylie and Chloe all came to see the show, but you and Courtney were a no-show. So I don't know, I guess you guys were busy.
Oh, yes, super busy. You know me.
I totally understand. I do have a DVD I could send you, though.
Oh, you know what? No, thank you, Will.
Okay. So, besides becoming a lawyer and fighting for social justice, you've also designed a line of shapewear, right?
Wait, I am? Oh, yeah, I am. Yep, they're very durable, very successful. I feel like they'd fit your body shape really well, so I don't know if you want me to send you like a little gift basket.
Yeah. That seems a little odd for me, but I'm not going to say no. I'll try them on, take them for a spin.
No, stop, shut up. You know what? Sorry, I can't. We're all out of stock. Everywhere.
Oh, that's fine. Maybe when you get, when there's a restock.
Oh, no, there isn't a restock. We're done producing them for the rest of 2021. Even though 2021 just started.
Oh, wow. That seems very sad and also very sudden.
Yeah. It's really for the best, probably. It will give me more time with my five kids.
You mean 4, right? I'm pretty sure you have 4 children, unless you know something I don't.
Yes, I do. I was just including Kanye. You know what, Will? I'm sorry, I have to go.
Wait, hold on.
Chicago, North, and Som are playing arts and crafts, and it's just a mess.
Okay, wait.
Bye.
Wait, Kim?
Thank you so much.
Wait, Kim? Kim? Nope, she's gone. Okay. Oh, wow. My heart is pounding. Can you guys hear my heart pounding right now? Oh, wow. Is it hot in here and also everywhere right now? Because you know what? I should probably take a quick shower because I broke out into a full body flop sweat during that interview. So why don't you enjoy another story from one of my personal favorite creators, Marlon Webb.
I've been living in LA now since 2016. And part of living in LA is you have celebrity encounters from time to time because they live here. they share the space. There's a lot of celebrities here. That's just what happens. You know, you could be at a restaurant or just walking on the street. You run into a celebrity. That's just what happens in LA. Anyway, let me just set the setting for you. Okay. I was hanging out on Hollywood Boulevard, not doing drugs or stabbing people. I was just hanging out on Hollywood Boulevard. You know what I mean? And I was on Hollywood Boulevard with a few fellow influencers and a few friends of mine. One of the influencers was named Nafil. And for those of you that don't know Nafil, Nafil has a character online named Tyrone. And what Tyrone does is he approaches men in public and lets them know that their spouse will be cheating on them very shortly with Tyrone, his character. And Tyrone will be having intercourse with them long dick style. And that's what he does. He makes a lot of men angry and a lot of women love him. And it's very hilarious to watch. He's a very hilarious guy. That's who Nafil is. I was hanging out with him, and I was also hanging out with another influencer that went by the name of Welvin Harris. Now, for those of you that don't know who Welvin Harris is, Welvin, his online name is Welvin the Great, and he went viral on Vine for a phone call, a joke that he made over the phone. And the tail end of the joke, he yelled into the phone, "D's nuts," and then laughed and let the audience know that he got him. That's who Welvin Harris is. It's that guy, the D's nuts guy. Yeah, he's hilarious. Real fun, nice guy. Yeah, we were hanging out on Hollywood Boulevard. I think we were just taking a walk, as friends do. And then we took a right turn down Vine Street off of Hollywood Boulevard. And we're about in front of the Trader Joe's on Vine Street. Now, Welvin and Nafil are very funny guys, as am I, right? I'm hilarious, I swear. Anyway, we were in front of the Trader Joe's on Vine Street. And Welvin saw a very nice BMW parked in front of the Trader Joe's. And yeah, it was like not the kind of BMW you buy from a car dealership. It was souped up. Like it had like the gold outlining, the gold rims. Like it looked expensive. Something that I could not afford. You know what I mean? Like this BMW was different. This had to be owned by someone very rich. And it was just parked in front of the Trader Joe's. Welvin and I noticed the car. Nafil noticed it as well. And we also noticed that the car was running and there was no one inside the car. Just in front of Trader Joe's. Running, no one inside the car. Keys are in the ignition. Well, actually, I don't know if the keys were in the ignition or not. It might have been a push start. But the car was running and no one was inside the car. So you're gonna have to assume that the car was unlocked as well, just there. Now Welvin, because he's a funny guy, made a joke saying, "I could steal this right now." He just yelled that very loudly. Yeah, and it was like, when he said that, I was like, that's funny, but you probably shouldn't yell that right now in the middle of the day, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's funny, but yeah. As soon as he yelled, "I could steal this car right now," somebody popped out behind a pillar and said, "Hey, that's my car." He screamed it. He was very upset that someone was making a joke about stealing his car that was just running in front of Trader Joe's unlocked. I mean, if I was him, I probably wouldn't leave the car right there unlocked running like that, I mean, we wouldn't have made the joke. Anyway, it was just a joke. That's all it was. Harmless. This man was very upset. And I was standing between the man who yelled and Welvin. I was kind of just right in between them. However, the man could definitely tell that that was my party. I was with them. However, this wasn't just any man. This was Omarion. Omarion. The lead singer of B2K. Actor, singer. Omarion. I've been a fan of Omarion. I knew exactly who Omarion was. Yeah, man, Omarion. I was kind of just standing between Omarion and these nuts and the Phil. And the first thing I thought was, oh shit, that's Omarion. The second thing I thought was, Omarion is buying candles in front of Trader Joe's. Those must be some great candles. Now, in the moment, I also was thinking, okay, are we about to fight Omarion? I mean, we'd win the fight, but still, are we about to fight Omarion right now? So, I thought to myself, I can't let that happen. I like Omarion. I'm a fan. So in the moment, I just had to act like the biggest fan I could possibly be. So, once he yelled that and showed that he was very upset, I just blurted out, oh, Omarion, biggest fan, bro. Yo, I love you. And I just approached him quickly with my hand up, ready to dap up Omarion. And just to diffuse the situation. You know what I mean? And Omarion, after I did that, he looked at Welvin and Nephil. He actually recognized them after like studying them for a second. And I could see that he was a little bit relieved to know that those were also famous people. He didn't recognize me because I'm not famous enough. I'm not really that famous. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, Omarion looked like he was not trying to fight anymore after I went to dap him up and let him know that I was his biggest fan. Because he can't be just fighting fans. You can't do that. You can't fight your fans. And especially other famous people. You can't do that in public. So, I had a diffuse situation between Omarion, Welvin, and Nephil and I. And after that, Omarion bought his candles and then drove off. And that was it. Yeah. Still thinking about the candles that he was buying. Omarion, multi-millionaire, buying candles in front of Trader Joe's on Vine Street. Those must have been amazing candles.
Smart, Marlon. Well played. I've got to remember that the next time I get in an altercation with a celeb to just go full fanboy. If I was in that sitch, I probably would have made a joke about allowing him to chauffeur me, but only if he eats the booty like groceries, which undoubtedly would have gotten me punched in the face. If you want some truly original, off-the-wall sketch comedy, make sure to follow Marlon Webb on all platforms. L's and D's, which is short for links in description. Okay, Fablies, I have arguably saved the best for last. Let's just say that my loneliness is no longer killing me now that I'm about to chat with the one, the only legend of legends, Miss Britney Spears.
Hi, Will.
Wow. Hi, Britney. I can't believe I'm actually talking to you. The 7th grade boy in me is dying.
I am such a fan of your podcast and truly cannot believe that the universe has blessed me today to be on your show. I feel so special.
I feel special.
You are special. I really mean it.
Thank you.
And I gotta say, that theme song is magnificent. I've actually choreographed my own dance to it.
No way. That's so cool. What's it like?
It's just a lot of spinning, mostly.
Do you think you could teach it to me? I'm a pretty good dancer.
Oh, like in person?
Yeah, if that's cool with you.
I don't really leave my house much, and I've already had a few visitors this year, so I think...
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, maybe over Zoom, then.
What, Zoom? Shut up. Shh.
Brittany, what's going on? Are you okay?
Stop it.
Do you need my help? Do you need me to free you? Where are you? Give me your location. Drop a pin.
I don't need help. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life.
Are you really? Are you fine? Because I don't know. I watched the documentary, and, Brittany, if you need help, just breathe into the phone.
I'm really fine.
That was a breath. That was definitely a breath. I'm coming, Brittany. I'm coming. Just tell me your location.
No, wait.
I'm coming. Just
don't.
drop a pin.
Hold on. No, stop. I have to tell him.
What? Who the hell is this? What have you done with Brittany? Put her back on, huh? # free Brittany.
You're blowing my cover. Shh. I can't keep this up. It's like tricking a baby. Will, Will, this isn't Britney Spears. My name is Natalie Friedman. I'm an actress, comedian. I do a lot of impressions. Look, your mother called me. She hired me to come on your podcast and pretend to be a bunch of famous people to make you feel really important.
Well played, Natalie. You got me. Congratulations. I have to admit, your Britney is spot on. I mean, wait till I tell my new best friends Kim and Cardi about this.
Yeah, no, they were me too. That wasn't them.
So let me get this straight. What you're telling me is that this whole episode is a lie and that Kim K and Cardi B aren't huge fans of the podcast?
I don't know. Maybe they are. I mean, I'm sure Cardi B has seen your face on social media.
But probably not.
Yeah, definitely not.
Would you please put my tricksy scoundrel of a mother on the phone right now?
Shit, I'm not here. I knew this was going to happen. He wants to talk to you. Stop it. I'm not here.
I can hear you, Mom.
Well, hello. This is Dolly Parton.
What? Oh my God. Dolly, hi. What are you doing hanging out with my mom?
Oh my God, you are so gullible.
Mother!
I'm sorry. I was just trying to help.
I don't need your help. I'm doing just fine.
But you said your numbers.
My numbers are fine. I had 152 listeners on the last episode.
And who do you think those came from?
You listened to my podcast 152 times?
Yeah, I listened to it. On silent.
That's actually kind of sweet. And deceitful, which is, gotta say, on brand for you. Classic mom. Hey, thanks for listening. As always, I'd love to give a huge shout out to our storytellers, Eric Artell, Jessica Lesaca, and Marlon Webb. And a special thanks to the incredibly talented and funny Natalie Friedman for her spot-on impressions. You can find links to all of their channels in the episode description. Well, hey, since I got you here, do you want to be on an upcoming episode of Storytime? Well, if you have a great story to tell, type it up or send an audio file to storytime@collab.inc, and we'll share some of our favorites on an upcoming listener episode. Oh, you're still here? Well, if you've gotten this far into the episode, you might as well rate it, review it, and share it with a friend. Or an enemy. Makes no difference to me, as long as I get those sweet, sweet streams. Storytime is produced by iHeartRadio and Collab. Executive producers Eric Jacks, Song Kang, and Will McFadden. Hosted by Will McFadden. Produced by Jessica Eccles, Jason Shapiro, Jenny Ulmer, and Daniela Mora. Written by Jenny Ulmer. Voice acting by Natalie Friedman. Sound design by Tony Maddox. Original score by Scott Simons. Cover art by John Kusagaya, and animation by Bella Bouchon.